Breaking news, Puerto Vallarta is under siege. Kingpin El Mencho is dead. His soldiers have turned Jalisco into a cage. If we're in Puerto Vallarta resort right now, the main road is choked with the skeletons of burning buses. That's your exit, and it's on fire. Airlines already pulling the plug, leaving thousands stranded in the terminal, while the cartel hunts on the streets. This is the brutal math of the Mexican vacation. You save for years to get in, but you'll pay anything to get out. The tourist bubble didn't just pop, it was incinerated, shelter in place. There's no 5-star protection against a power vacuum. Let's see here. This is at the airport.
No, ma'am. ¿Están bien?
Because apparently there's a gunfight going on in the airport. Man behind the camera can barely find the words. Holy fuck, he mutters. This is Itapa. Total war in broad daylight. Let's see if we've got anything else. Yeah, Matt Forney here. We just saw that video from Guadalajara International Airport showing people desperately fleeing as gunmen are reported to have stormed the airport. Rumors that the CJNG are taking Americans hostage. If true, Trump needs to start drone striking and bombing Mexico immediately. No more coddling Sinaloa Scheinbaum and her merry band of narco thugs. Mexico is a problem, and they need to be put down Maduro style. Yeah, Kangman Lee. Insane videos coming out of Mexico. Mexico is a narco state controlled by the cartel. Where is the Mexican military? Let's take a look at this. Got people running in horror. Even security is making a run for it. This was the main road that they were speaking of in another tweet. The bus is on fire. Looks like they are blocked completely. Nobody getting in or out. Jalisco, Mexico. Looks like a total war zone. You've also got automobiles in a car park there that have been set on fire. See close-up of all this from RT. Looks like somebody set a lorry on fire. There's a bus that's been set on fire. Another lorry on fire. Now. U.S. visitors at a shelter in place in those areas and reports of Guadalajara airport flights grounded. CJNG cartel retaliating against the death of the most wanted drug lord, El Mencho, who had a $10 million bounty on his head. The cartel are trying to buy time during the inevitable leadership transition, all confirmed. That's from open source intel. Nick Sauter. Got some footage here. Mexican cartels now terrorizing civilians at petrol stations, setting them on fire at gunpoint. Retaliation for Mexican and American forces killing Mexico's most wanted cartel boss, El Mencho. Mexico is a third world narco state. Changed my mind. Not going to. It's true. Let's visit Mexico, they said. It would be fun, they said. And then you've got this. That's probably copyrighted music. We're not going to play that. Yeah. So if you're planning on a holiday to Mexico, I would cancel that. I'd go somewhere else. Maybe go to somewhere in the Caribbean. You know, go to the Cayman Islands. Go to Jamaica. Go to the Virgin Islands. either the British or the US. Go to St. Kitts and Nevis or St. Lucia, places like that. Don't mean to nudge you on the matter, Rexo. No, when do you think I'll play the Great Rebellion on stream? Probably after I finish Deus Ex. I might play that as sort of a transitional game before we get into Cyberpunk. I think that will be the next one after that. President going to be speaking on this shortly. I know he's got the State of the Union coming up soon. Thought Mexico had strict gun control. How do the criminals have so many guns? Because the criminals don't give a shit about gun control laws. This is a developing story. Just sent you a video from Benny Johnson released about 35 minutes ago. All right, let's have a look here. Let's see. Much as we might not like shedding Benny slop here, this is an AI-generated image that we're looking at.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Mexico has fallen, and if you are an American visiting or traveling in Mexico, you need to seek shelter immediately by order of the U.S. government. And
you need to get the fuck out.
Because Mexico is in a state of all-out war. Terrorist attacks happening at resorts, terrorist attacks happening at shopping centers, at Costco's, cars being used as deadly weapons, vehicle checkpoint stops. Absolute and total chaos in the terrorist state of Mexico for a very long time. We have called Mexico a failed state, saying that the government...
It is. It is a failed state. It really is. Especially when about 2/3 of it, pretty much everything north of the Yucatan, yeah, failed state. The Yucatan Peninsula, not so bad. It's actually rather nice down there. But everything else up to the north? Nah. Supreme Herald, hello. Elmo summons bacon. Good evening. Good evening. Have mixed feelings on Benny, but it's best I can find at present. Well, appreciate it. The CIA likes to share the wealth, you could say. Yeah. Probably some CIA gay-offs going on down here.
Is under the complete and total control of the cartels, and we have just proven that today. Mexico has fallen. Check this out. Cartel attacks. American tourists left stranded in beautiful Mexico hotspots as cartels torch cars and wreak havoc in code red attack. The U.S. State Department has issued a security alert for all Americans stranded in the area to shelter in place and to minimize their movements. There's fiery chaos after federal forces conducted an operation to kill a prominent cartel leader, and now these streets are filling with blood.
Yeah. I'll say it again. If you're planning a holiday to Mexico at any point this year, cancel it. Cancel it. Go somewhere else. Especially if you've got a cruise that's taking you to Mexico. Don't get off the boat. Don't get off the boat, or find another cruise. It's too dangerous. Doesn't matter if you're an American or British, or doesn't matter. Just avoid Mexico. Don't go to Mexico. Until they regime change it, the place over there, and hunt down and kill all of the gangs and drug cartel members, and until Scheinbaum is regime changed, don't go to Mexico. Just don't do it.
Catastrophic photos from across the city showed buses exploding in flames, homes being torched, billowing black smoke everywhere. The intense commotion and code red warning was triggered in the early hours Sunday. Mexican army went into the rustic town of Talapa, which is about 170 miles east of Puerto Vallarta. And and they killed El Mencho. And this is apparently the name of
Nemesio Elmencho Oseguera Cervantes. His first name was Nemesio. I mean, even his name, Nemesio, almost sounds like Nemesis. Even the name sounds villainous. I think military action in Mexico may happen after sunset. We'll have to see. If it happens, great. If not, another coin in the jar for the nothing ever happens bros.
the cartel leader, El Mencho, according to high-ranking officials who spoke to local publications. El Mencho was the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels, and played a key role in trafficking of meth and fentanyl to the United States. It has now been revealed that...
That might be a little bit too fast. 1.25 speed, that should be good. Yeah, major trafficker of methamphetamine and fentanyl into the United States, so one less drug pusher in the world.
There is a direct connection to the U.S. Special Forces who helped in the targeting and giving the Mexican army data on where El Mencho was, and they went and they yeeted him. The Mexican army killed him. So Puerto Vallarta, which is a very famous Mexican resort town, is now under siege. Crazy. Videos at the Guadalajara International Airport have seen circulating, showing smoke rising, people fleeing the
vendetta at this
running
point.
Down
The cartels, the gangs, they know that those are frequented by a lot of holiday goers from America, and so they're looking for American targets, and they're looking to execute some sort of vendetta against Americans and against foreign tourists. But if Americans are in danger and Trump does nothing, then he loses an insurmountable amount of face. You're right. You're right, of course. But I take a wait-and-see attitude, and I also take a I believe it when I see it type attitude. I'm not a plan truster anymore. Remember, Aztlan beliefs are still strong in Mexico. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
tarmacs. It's crazy. It's like Afghanistan withdrawal level crazy. Let's go look at some of the videos and photos because they're insane. Just a commentary on El Mencho, who's the head of the drug cartel there in Mexico, the most powerful drug cartel. I once spent 5 days with Mexican cartel to make a docuseries. They were by far the scariest, most ruthless people I have ever been around. Their value for life is non-existent. This guy was the absolute worst of them all. Goodness.
Then they're not even human. They're just ungodly demons. They're just demons. So, Mexican army has done everyone a favor by eliminating him.
Okay, well, there he is, right there. Wild passengers are fleeing onto the tarmac. Look at this. Passengers are running across the tarmac in the airport, at the Puerto Vallarta International
They've got to run
Airport.
somewhere.
Again, this is a very, very famous airport. Gunmen are storming the airport. Look at this. Mexicans just running, just sprinting out of the airport. Just running across the terminal, just running across the runway. This is just crazy. Listen to this. Just wild. So you can hear, obviously, the sirens blaring.
They better hope that those gunmen aren't equipped with sniper rifles or any type of rifle with long range or even medium range capability. Because they run out there onto an open tarmac, and from the right angle, it would be like shooting ducks in a barrel. I mean, I know it's a panicky situation. I know that you've got to get them to safety somehow. But there's danger there in rushing a lot of people out onto an open tarmac of an international airport. There's so many places where someone gets to the right perch, that becomes a sniper's nest. And you've just turned a situation of panic into a bloodbath. But I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be. Get where you're coming from. Pray we can rescue our people. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to see any. I don't want to see any Americans die. I don't want to see any holiday goers, period, die from this. These people didn't do anything. This is just violent subhuman thugs behaving like violent subhuman thugs, and they need to be. These violent subhuman thugs need to be hunted down like the dogs they are, and they need to be dispatched with due prejudice. These people are responsible for so much violence, so much death, and pushing of drugs upon people in Mexico, people in America, and around the world, and drug pushers like this, they don't deserve to live. They do not deserve to live. Like I said, they need to be hunted like the dogs they are. So whoever's responsible for dispatching El Mencho here, I hope they get that bounty of $15 million, and I hope they use it to create a nice little retirement fund for themselves. He could do the actual funniest thing and issue Eric Prince letters of marque. If anybody is built to deal with this sort of situation, it would be Eric Prince, and I guess it's not Blackwater anymore, it's whatever organization he has now. I wish the migrant gangs throwing hand grenades here were hunted down, yes. Or rather, they definitely do, in other words, I agree, yeah.
It's a $15 million reward by the U.S. State Department for his killing. El Mencho, again, is his name. Look at these passengers fleeing onto the tarmac, fleeing into the grass. Absolute insanity. There's smoke billowing out of the actual terminal itself. The airport has apparently been taken over by the cartel and by gunmen. Blockade underway. Civilians are being taken out of their vehicles. Shelter in place. You can see here the blockade taking place across this looks like a major roadway, major interstate. And they're commandeering vehicles. This is crazy. This is the cartel doing this. This is crazy. So they're just deciding to take this vehicle. So they're taking this vehicle, they're kicking out the owners, and they've taken over this truck. Failed state. Intense clashes.
Yes, absolute failed state. And Scheinbaum needs to be regime changed. She should never have been elected president in the first place. Her election was totally illegitimate, especially considering that I believe she was directly responsible for the murders of her opposition. I don't put it past people like her. And also, Scheinbaum doesn't sound like a very Mexican sort of name, now does it? Kinda sounds like they're a foreign actor. A pretender to the halls of power, as it were. Someone who's got no legitimacy and someone who has got no business being in the halls of power. He operates quite a few different mercenary organizations now, owning or partially owning and managing them, including one named Frontier Services Group. Vectus Global is another one, supposedly a security company, or at least it's registered as such. It's probably a mercenary company or a private military company. quite often they register as security companies, but they're actually PMCs. They just don't call themselves PMCs because in many jurisdictions it's illegal to have an organization like that. But make no mistake, Eric Prince is not in the security business. He's in the mercenary business. And the companies that he has fingers in the pie of, they are private military companies. Frontier Resource Group, XC Corporation, yeah.
And the cartel. Crazy, man. Crazy. Somebody just filming from their store. Smoke billowing and rising. Again, you can see the high-rise resorts. Look at this footage. Look at this. And again, this is like a very, very famous resort town in Mexico. They're setting the entire thing ablaze.
Trouble in paradise.
Thousands,
literally
maybe tens of thousands of Americans that are there right now. Look at this place. That is crazy, man. Chaos at the airports.
We saw this footage already.
People are urged to stay indoors. There's gunmen roaming through the airports, no doubt looking to take prisoners. What they're doing here, they're looking to take hostages. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's being taken over right now by the...
They're taking hostages, probably going to make some sort of demand for the release. They're going to demand amnesty or safe transport out, something. These people have little or no respect for human life, so those hostages will be killed the moment they serve no usefulness to these terrorists whatsoever. And that's the key here, is that they need to be... So many of them have already been designated as terrorist and terrorist entities, which was the right thing for the Trump administration to do. Now we actually need to start treating them and handling them as though they're terrorists. Now we need to actually start treating them in many ways the same way we treated terrorists in the global war on terror. That they're not even people, they're enemy combatants. And they are to be shipped off to some sort of black site, similar to Guantanamo Bay. And that's if you're not just killing them on sight, but capture them, torture them for any sort of intel that they can provide, and once it's extracted, just kill them. Because Lord knows they're just going to go back and commit more acts of terror. Some of the ones he has in Africa are registered as infrastructure protection organizations. Makes sense. But that's just a fancy name for a private military company.
The Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This is one of the host cities for the 2026 World Cup. That's crazy.
If they end up hosting the World Cup for this year, that would be a miracle. At this stage, it would be a miracle.
Crazy. Dozens, if not hundreds of people are fleeing right onto the runways of the airports. Chaos breaking out at the airport again.
Saw a lot of that footage already.
Costco is now on fire.
Yeah.
Listen up.
And yes, they do have Costco's. They've got Walmarts. They've got Sam's Clubs down in Mexico. Same as they do in the United States. A lot of the creature comforts that you will find in America, you will also find in Mexico.
Listen up, you south of the border bastards.
It's why, before all of this, you had a lot of American expats going down there to Mexico and buying up property and just living out their retirement years down there just because it's cheaper. And plus, you've got all of the creature comforts that you're accustomed to in the US. Now, until all of this mess is settled, I would not be considering this place for retirement.
If you burn my Costco, you burn a Costco. That is sacred to Americans. How dare you? How dare you? This is the cult. That is cross line.
Wait, what? Hang on.
You burn up. Listen up. You south of the border bastards. If you burn my Costco, you burn a Costco. That is sacred to Americans. How dare you? How dare you? This.
Okay, well, it might be. I mean, it starting to sound like a bit of a gay capitalist there, Benny. That's. I mean, I don't like the idea of a Costco being burned, but let's not go apoplectic over it. It's a Costco. In the end, they can rebuild, and yeah, it's like I like the $1.50 hot dogs. I don't like them that much, so let's have a bit more chill here, brother.
This is that has crossed a line. You've now crossed a line. It's amazing to think this is
that's starting to sound like he's starting to sound like such a boomer con. It's cringe. So that this part right here was not necessary, Benny. That just makes you sound gay and cringe.
Bush of a National Guard convoy. It's amazing to think that this just exists right across our border. Like we share a border with this. We share a border with these people.
Yes.
With this level of.
I know because I've driven along the southern border between the US and Mexico. And some of the towns on the American side are near indistinguishable from what you see on the other side. It's... yeah. Not a white face in sight. There's a reason Benny isn't my first choice for news. Yeah, but he's the first one to really upload something, so we're having to take what we can get at this point.
Look at this. These are people like that on their
situation. Guadalajara is insane for me and Miles Chong.
And their margaritas as the city burns around them. Wild. Dystopian.
It's... yeah. Got everybody enjoying paradise, and then meanwhile, shit's burning in the background. It's almost like Nero fiddling as Rome burns.
Dystopian. Look at people just sitting out lounging. Just like flabby white whales just sitting there like helpless. Dude, you're going to be taken hostage. What the hell are you doing? Look at this. CNG cartels attempting and failing to set a gas station on fire. Look at this. Straight up. That's crazy.
That is.
This is
set the petrol pump on fire.
Straight up.
If it was a historical building, church, or cathedral, or something cultural, historical, significant, it would make somewhat more sense. Yeah, and make no mistake, don't put that past these terrorists. I don't put anything past them. If they are willing to kill absolutely anyone to keep pushing smack on our streets, you can bet they will torch and blow up cathedrals, churches, historical structures.
Terrorism.
Not saying I want my local supermarket to catch fire like affordable meat. Yeah, no. I mean, nobody likes the idea of a Costco being set on fire. But Costco is a giant corporation. They've got plenty of money. They have the means to rebuild. They'll be all right. One location burning to the ground like this in a war zone is not going to mean the end of Costco. It's not okay, but let's keep some perspective. It's still just a fucking Costco. And there's probably another one in Puerto Vallarta that you can go to. Because last I checked, Puerto Vallarta is a fairly big city. And if all else fails, if you can't go to Costco, you can always go to Sam's Club. And yes, they do have Sam's Clubs down in Mexico. I know because I've seen them.
Cartel members burn cars, take over the airport. Total and complete anarchy.
Okay, we've seen that already.
They're setting up roadblocks all around and setting vehicles on fire. This is in response to the Mexican military killing cartel leader El Mencho. Again, this is just look at this. This is like day
What
after
else do we
tomorrow
have here?
for Mexico are now in Kamala Harris. Just think about that. Flight trackers show that a bunch of U.S. flights that were bound Yeah. Here is the map of the narco war that is ongoing right now in Mexico. These people are on the other side of our border. These people are on the other side of our border, and we have no security for 4 years under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Just think about that. Flight track.
Yeah, and now the border is effectively sealed and closed except to authorized traffic. And thank God for that.
Show that a bunch of U.S. flights that were bound for Mexico are now turning around. Mexico says the U.S. assisted.
Yeah. The airlines are going to protect their passengers, and they're going to protect their assets like their planes. They're not going to land someplace where they're evacuating whole crowds of people onto the tarmac. They're going to turn the planes around and say, yeah, we're not going there. It's too dangerous. You're all going to get issued refunds for your flights, and you're just going to have to go somewhere else.
Operation to capture El Mencho and to kill him. El Mencho was reportedly captured alive during the operation, but he died while being transported to Mexico City. Crazy.
Oh, no. Anyway.
Crazy. U.S. played a role. That means U.S. citizens are not safe due to the ongoing security operations.
Yeah, this is a vendetta that we're seeing now. This is a vendetta being carried out by the cartels. Because in their minds they see Americans had a part in it. Okay, we're just going to start targeting Americans. Let's see, Harris Faulkner from Fox News, or formerly from Fox News?
Further notice. Total chaos at the terminal. Crazy, man. People are just running for their lives. Yep.
That is wild. Let's see. LH Gray. Motherfuckers listen up the shitstorm in Mexico to hit nuclear levels. These gutless pendejos in the Mexican army finally grew up here and smoked El Mencho, the blood-soaked kingpin of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, right in his Jalisco lair. But oh, the backlash. It's a goddamn apocalypse unfolding in Puerto Vallarta. Cartel scum retaliating like rabid dogs, torching vehicles in narco bloqueos, sieging the streets, and straight up assaulting the international airport.
Listen up. This had just hit.
Plumes of black smoke choking the sky, terrified terrorists sprinting through terminals like it's the end of the fucking world. This isn't some cartel skirmish, it's a precision-engineered chaos bomb exposing the rotten core of a nation strangled by narco-terror. These savages aren't just fighting back, they're reminding the world that Mexico's government is a facade, a puppet show run by invisible strings dipped in fentanyl and fear.
There's black smoke charring.
Fuck the cartels, fuck the corrupt officials who let this fester. Wake up, world. Lethality is the language they speak, and it's time we respond in kind. Hear, hear.
The sky. This isn't a skirmish, this is a pursuit. They're reminding. Man, again, game war.
Costco.
Wow.
In fact, the entire airport may be shut down right now.
Man, that's crazy, dude.
Maybe it is.
Okay.
No one's getting in or out.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. What's going to happen next is that they're going, the Trump administration is going to see this as open season. They're going to probably, and this is horrible, I'm so sad that I have to say this, but they're going to probably take American hostages. Bad things are going to happen, and the situation is going to deteriorate quickly.
At this stage, a military response is not out of the question. So I can see your point there, Red Comment. It's not out of the question, but we've been disappointed before, to where we expected action out of the Trump administration, and all we get is we're actively monitoring the situation. So we will see what happens. We will put a pin in all of this, and this is definitely to be continued. Biggest complaint with Benny is he's too sensationalist. Yes, he really is. I always bristled against that, even in my radio days. I don't believe in being sensationalist for its own sake. If something really is a big fucking deal, then yes, treat it as such, but also remember the boy who cried wolf. You can only do that for so long.